Good morning, Zio here, and today we'll be talking about Nintendo. That's right, Nintendo. In fact, gosh, I feel like this is going to be another ranting video. Oh gosh, I've gotten into rant territory, but I've got so much pent-up anger about shit. Anyway, go ahead and grab yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get into it, shall we? But of course, beforehand, I do have a Twitter and a TikTok. You should go check those out. Follow, all that good stuff. Link is always down below, so go do it now. I'll wait. All right, you back? Good. You didn't do it, did you? I'm disappointed in you. I really am. You should go do that thing. Go do it now. Okay, fine, whatever. Anyway, before that, I just wanted to bring attention to this petition, right? So this was flung at me. Seriously, they tweeted it at me under something when I think we were talking about Blizzard the other week. And I meant to actually include this, and I keep forgetting. But if you want to go and sign a petition, go ahead and do so. It's not really taking off, unfortunately. I think it should. Oh yeah, this is when we were talking about them and the 20 people they recently fired or whatnot. But essentially it's talking about this here, right? When we did talk about this, I don't think we used this Vice article. I can't remember what we used, but we did talk about the company and attempting the union bust and bringing in that other firm and all this other stuff. But this, of course, got started up shortly after that. And if you want to stand by your principles and show Blizzard and Activision that yes, you stand by it, go ahead, give it a sign, so they can actually hit the thing and show them, I guess, somewhat of, there are people out there who will not tolerate if they do a mass firing off or a mass laying off because they can't be bothered to do a surgical strike. And find the actual people who have done things and all that good stuff. Link for this, of course, down below. So let's talk about Nintendo and the N64 expansion pass. Nintendo suck it. No, seriously. So Nintendo has an online service that you can purchase, all right? And it's not that bad, right? You can get it for a month, 30 days. For $4. That is not bad at all. $20 for the entire year for just your account and all this other stuff. If you're like me and you have a family, this isn't that bad of a deal. I feel like it's worth the money, right? It allows them to play things like Splatoon and stuff online with no issue because my kids like Splatoon, or at least the one who's gaming really likes Splatoon, of course, and the youngest one likes to watch Splatoon. But it also gives you some other stuff as well. I forgot to actually bring that up, but essentially, where is it? This here. It gives you access to this, which of course is them emulating, very, Super Nintendo and Nintendo games. So you get that for free. You get that with it. There's quite a few on here. There's not as much as I would like. There are things on here that I wish were that aren't, of course, but there's the list right there of all of those that they do include, which I think is pretty cool. It's pretty nice for the money. I don't think it was that bad. And then, of course, I heard of them launching, the expansion pass. And wait, where did the thing go now? There it is. See that full list real quick. Let's bring that up so we can take a look. And of course, there's the NES one. It's got quite a few cool things as well. If you've never played them, this is a great way to play it, and it doesn't cost you a whole lot, especially if you don't like to emulate on your PC or something, or you think that is somehow stealing or whatnot with these super old games and things. This is your legal way to go about it, right? Without having to pay $5 to purchase The Legend of Zelda for the 50th time on one of Nintendo's consoles. But yeah, it's not bad, right? It was bang for your buck. And then Nintendo did this shit. Right here. Yeah. So they've put an N64 emulator on there now, which should be included with the original term thing, but it's not. It really isn't. You have to pay extra for it. How much extra? Well, it's quite a bit. It now ups the price, of course, for 12 months. You can't do this individually. If you want the expansion pack individual membership, it's going to be $49.99 per person, of course, or you can get the family one for about $20 more, $30 more, right? $79.99, so $20 more. And then you can have access to a few new games. You get these here, and that's it. And the emulation is shit. Not kidding. So there are some videos floating around over on the Twitter and other places that kind of exaggerate things, right? It's playing online multiplayer and it's really, really laggy with like, what was it, Mario Kart? And if you actually look at the recording or whatnot, they have like really no signal. So therefore, yes, lag happens when that happens, but you know, if you play it with good signal and connect it and not like 50 miles away from your access point, it actually runs pretty smoothly. I'm not going to lie. The problem is the emulation to things like textures not properly loading, textures not loading at all. Other errors, like for instance, Legend of Zelda, those have been seen. You can compare like the Japanese versions to the American versions and all this other stuff and see wild differences in just textures that aren't properly loading and stuff. And of course you have other things where if say the game requires access to the actual true expansion pack, like if I had my 64 where I could find it, because I think it's still at my parents somewhere, there's this little block inside, right? This little red and black block that you put into the front called an expansion pack, and that was included with several games when those were launched. But any game that requires the expansion pack won't save or have features cut from it because it doesn't have the expansion pack, so they don't actually work. Now, I've heard people make excuses for this. It's like, well, I mean, naturally, things aren't going to work as they were intended, because some features aren't going to do it. It's like loading up Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction right now, the original, not the remake, and then trying to get on Battle.net. You can't actually do that. Battle.net does not exist anymore for that. Or getting on Warcraft 2 or something and trying to play peer-to-peer with that. It's not going to work. You know, those features don't exist anymore. And that's fine. I get that. I understand that. However, you want me to pay for this product, but you can't take the time to attempt to figure out how to emulate the expansion pack. There are emulators that do it, for fuck's sake. Like, seriously, you can do that. I can play all these games. I can play with no problem on my PC right the freak now. In fact, I have them. And I own all of them with the exception of these two right here, which I actually don't have on my PC either. You know, I have all these other because I got them back in the day. And, you know, I can load up an emulator right now and play them with no problem and better in 1080p in great definition without issues with textures and all this other stuff. And Nintendo can't even be bothered to handle that. And that really ticks me off. It really does. There's no reason whatsoever for that. Now, the other thing that is also included with this is a Sega Genesis thing. Let's see if I can go and find that, because I should have brought that up too real quick, but I didn't. Where is the expansion pack? Learn more. Yeah, this here. There's also this, which is DLC for Animal Crossing that you also get access to for free. Which, you know, is cool if you really, really are invested in Animal Crossing. And a large chunk of people who bought the Switch are. And this is actually pretty nice to have too. This is more than what the other one was giving you, but this of course is also included with this expansion pass, and it's definitely got more in it. Whether or not it's worth the money is a different story, of course. So you do have the Sega Genesis stuff as well, which is pretty cool. But I think they need to add more to this. If you're going to make people shell out $50 a month, and this is the biggest pull for them, you need to add more to it and have a better emulator setup for it. You could have gotten online and found yourself a better emulator than whatever the hell it is that Nintendo is currently attempting to use. And that's a problem. That really is. And that's always been a problem with Nintendo. You know, there was no reason for what they did. And, you know, I was originally talking to this, I think, to Chris at one point in time, of course, and at the time we didn't actually have a price tag to this. And if it wasn't that much, right, it wasn't really too expensive, you know, maybe an extra $5 or something to access to these few Nintendo 64 games, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But no, it's more than that, and I don't want that. I'm sorry. I need to probably just log into my account and see if what would happen if I added it to my current thing, which of course is this here, what it would do. I'm sure it will equal to this price that they suddenly want to take out again, or see how they would go about actually being able to update it. But I'm sorry, I can't. Not this. This is a horrible deal. It really is. And it's not worth it at all, even for my Switch. This, I do like this here, but again, it's not worth the money, in my opinion, to increase it that much. The Nintendo Switch is better than what they've had. It's definitely a better console, and I can understand. You know, I really like the whole, you know, handheld tabletop modes and stuff like that, and being able to pop it into the TV, and I think that's a great thing, but it's still not on par with the Xbox or the PlayStation to really make it my main system if I was to do it. It really isn't. This is ridiculous. Just how they've handled this is ridiculous. It would have been fine if it wasn't for the fact that they're messed up. You know, they play fine. You can go through it and probably never see a single issue whatsoever. But anyone who has really played these games in the past and played them a lot, they're going to notice the things. They're going to notice the textures that don't properly load. They're going to notice when if Link doesn't show with half his body and then the game crashes, because the Switch is still able to process that, but the 64 would have crashed immediately if something loaded like that. So it continues to try and process it before it finally crashes and all that good stuff. But yeah, this is just bad. The fact that they just can't get the emulation proper, when another thing I want to talk about, of course, is preservation and emulation and all this other stuff. I've been trying to make that video for the past 2 weeks as well, and haven't gotten around to sitting down doing that. But you know, when you've got Kotaku essentially emulating your newest Metroid game and telling people to practically emulate the game because Kotaku's idiots, full of idiots, you know, to prompt them to, of course, change said article to kind of remove that and to downplay and be like, you never told anyone to do that. It just, no. Yeah. When we can emulate your current stuff and do it better on the PC. If you're going to launch an emulator of your older stuff, it better freaking work. There's no excuse, in my opinion, at that. If I can emulate this stuff right now better than what you're providing me service-wise, your service is nothing. It is not worth anything, not even $5 extra. It really isn't, in my opinion. And I definitely don't need N64 here because Mario 64 because I actually went and bought the collector's thing. So I've got it there, which runs better than the emulated one. Yeah, that's a problem. Anyway, that's all I got, I guess, on that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is it worth it to you? To me, it's not. I'm sorry, it just really isn't. But for somebody, it might be actually worth it for all I know. So let me know what you think down below, and I will talk to you later. See ya.